Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Jeff and Jeremy here online at KCOZ.com. It's Cameron the intern's final day. He's going to be turning 21, we found out, in August, yesterday on the show.
It's so long away. Still so long away. But you know what? I have optimism for you because I believe by August, like, things will be back to probably about 90% normal.
90?
That's what my
good.
crystal ball tells me. So that means...
I'm not that optimistic, but I think you're close.
You can still do a 21st birthday in August, YOLO. Now, if you had your 21st birthday, like, today, that's not YOLO. That's terrible. You're operating at, like, 2%. I feel bad for people that have turned 21 this past year because they're probably like, yeah, that was a fun birthday.
Dude, my friend's 21st is soon. It's a good thing she doesn't drink, though, so, she's not missing out on anything.
Yeah, but, I mean...
You can still drink at home.
Even if you've held back, don't you want to, 21st is like it's a rite of passage,
I would say you could just celebrate when this is all behind us and you can get out and do it.
See, for me, I had such solid fake ID game. Like,
you'd been out to the bar so many times it didn't even matter.
Yeah, I had a fake ID where
it didn't feel less pressure because now it was like legitimately
17.
you, and you didn't
boring. It was boring going to a bar once I turned 21. I was just like,
but you were legal?
Yeah, this is stupid. This is no fun anymore.
There's no risk in it. There's
no challenge. I had an ID once. It wasn't even a picture of me on it. It was a picture of another guy that just kind of looked like me. And it was a Hawaiian ID, but it wasn't even like, this is like McLovin, right? But it wasn't even a driver's license. It was just a Hawaiian ID card. And this is back when they would laminate IDs. And I practiced the guy's signature pretty well. And I remember getting in an argument with a guy at the bar. Now, I'd had some liquid courage from another bar, and this guy's like, yeah, we're not accepting this ID here. He gave it back to me. I said, you have to accept this ID here. It's a Hawaiian state-issued ID. You have to do it. And it said, this ID said I was 5'8". Okay? Because that's how tall the guy was. This guy never looked at the height of it. So I'm sitting here having an argument with him. I was like, here. And at the time, I worked at a rental car place, so we used to have to check IDs all the time for people renting cars. So I knew exactly what page my ID was on. I said, here, open your ID book, and I'm on page, I think it was 96 or something like that. Check it out. It's on page 96 because it went driver's license, then ID cards for each state. And he's like, oh, yeah, okay, you can go in. And he let me in. That was my biggest fake ID victory of all time.
That's pretty good.
Like, my friends were shocked and astonished. Now, I was 20 at the time, so a lot of my friends were 21.
Right.
And they were shocked and astonished because they could get in legitimately. I was getting in illegitimately. And they were like...
It was all about the game.
They were like, whoa. And all you have to do is all you had to do, I don't think it exists anymore, is have the confidence when you go up there and the swagger. And be like, yeah, this is me, dude. Even though it says I'm 5'8". I've grown.
I had a growth spurt. At 21.
That is pretty valid. There are people that have growth spurts.
Yeah, everybody has a growth spurt.
Yeah, but not at 21.
No, well, this guy was 23, so.
Oh, my God. So funny. So funny.
Yeah, I've grown since I got that picture taken 2 years ago.
It's a pretty good story. 805-543-3693. You can weigh in. You always give me a hard time about my birthday being around Thanksgiving. I had the perfect 21st birthday set up. My whole family was going to Whistler, one of your favorite places.
Oh, Whistler. You don't have to be 21 to go to Whistler.
Aunt and Uncle had a timeshare deal up there around Thanksgiving, and my parents got a condo.
Another place where it'd be boring to have a 21st
bringing my
birthday.
girlfriend, and we were all going to go up there. We're going to go skiing, and we were going to go bar. I was so excited. And plus, Whistler's just a cool town. Just to go around.
Awesome.
It's like a little village like you see in a movie. And it's at the base of the mountain, and you've got all of the lifts, and, you've got all these little bars and stuff. And sure enough, I had to have hernia operation 5 days before my 21st birthday. And when you have a hernia operation, it is literally, I had it 5 days before. I had to be in a bed for 2 days afterwards. And then I went up to Whistler. I couldn't ski because I'd tear open the hernia surgery they did. I couldn't get in a hot tub because of the stitches. I couldn't get in a pool. I couldn't do anything. Except for, I could shower, but I had to keep that area pretty, not soaking wet. So I couldn't, everybody was in the hot tub drinking, having a great time out in the snow. I'm sitting inside By the
So
fire.
it's pretty fair to say you were butthurt.
Oh, I'm so pissed off. The only thing I could actually do is play ping pong, and I ended up like moving weird to like get a ball, and I pulled something, and I was done. So then I couldn't play ping pong. I just had to sit around and watch TV while everybody went skiing, and sat in the hot tub, and it's just the worst birthday.
Yeah, my 21st sucked. Only because every year, I swear, from the age of like 12 till today, I mean, it's a given I'm going to be sick. And I actually am spending a lot of time thinking about it this year because of the pandemic. We kind of pay attention to, we do contact tracing of ourselves, involuntarily. Subconsciously, we're doing contact tracing. And I know why I would get sick is because I would go large at New Year's. I would have so much fun on New Year's. I mean, I wouldn't care what I was drinking. I'd go to a New Year's party. I'd pick up it could be a wine glass sitting on a table at somebody else's. I'm just sitting there chugging it. Good thing there's no New Year's Eve parties this year because I would just,
There was no COVID back then.
Yeah.
You would have had it for sure.
And my birthday's a week after New Year's. So, I would always be sick on New Year's. I've never had that's not true. My 40th birthday party was amazing. My wife put together an amazing birthday party for my 40th, and it just so happens the Seahawks were kicking ass then, and we had a big watch party and all that stuff. But outside of that,
Definitely lost that game.
No, they won that game.
Oh no, they won that one. It was the week after.
It was the Super Bowl that they lost. But everything, besides that birthday, after turning 21 or even before, has sucked because I come into contact with so many people during the holidays that I get sick.
Well, this is going to be your big year.
This year, I might have a good birthday. I don't know.
It'll just be you and your kids and your wife, but it'll be a great birthday. Whitney, are you there? I see that you're there. We're going to talk to Whitney coming up about what's going on. I would imagine she's had some pretty crazy stories at her birthdays. But we're talking about your 21st birthday because Cameron's going to turn 21 coming up this August.
Did you just ask her if she was there and then not give her an opportunity to answer?
I am here. I'm just waiting for my moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just waiting.
Dutch. You gotta wait for it.
I was waiting for her box to open up.
Oh.
Okay. Let me rephrase that. When she comes in on the screen, there's a box. Cameron's in a box. She's in a box, and her microphone was muted. She had a muted box, so I was waiting for that to unmute. How about we just take a break? We'll come back. We got Whitney on. We'll find out about her 21st birthday.
93.3 KZOZ rocks.
Steph and Jeremy here online at KZOZ.com. Good morning, Whitney. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Happy New Year. We're going to say it now.
Happy New Year.
Before we get to your plans for tonight, Cameron's going to turn 21 here in August. He won't be with us anymore because he'll be alive, but he just won't be on the show because his internship's over today. But we're telling him about things that we did for our 21st birthday. Jeff and I both had lame 21st birthdays. Jeff's was lame because he had a fake ID and he'd been going to the bar for years.
It was like
for years.
It was no fun going to the bar after turning 21. It really wasn't. There was no challenge.
I had a hernia operation a few days before my 21st birthday, and we were all up in Canada in Whistler at this ski resort, and I couldn't go in the hot tub. I couldn't ski. I couldn't do anything. Everybody was having fun but me. I mean, literally like the worst, right? Like do you remember being a kid, being sick, and all your friends were having fun, and you were stuck inside because you were sick? It was just like that.
That sounds terrible. Yeah.
I had my first legal drink with my mom and stepdad at the Hard Rock Cafe in Whistler, and I don't even know what terrible thing it was. And the thing was, you only had to be 19 to drink in Canada then.
So it was
my wife, my girlfriend then was 19 or 20, and she could have a drink with me. So it was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be able to drink, and I don't want to be here with these people.
You should have been able to go. You should have went 2 years earlier and celebrated your 21st birthday because you would have been fine.
Like you.
That's why I used to go to Canada so much.
What did you do, Whitney?
My 21st birthday also sucked. I had a fever. I was miserable. I did nothing.
What time of year is your birthday?
So the point is, Cameron, it's all overrated.
Yeah, I think I got out of the house and forced myself to go get a drink just because, but it was awful. I think I gave it to someone.
It really doesn't help that alcohol is not really all that hard to get a hold of.
Right.
Like nothing is really that hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, but it's not about the alcohol. For me, it was about going to the bars and being somewhere that I could now be that I couldn't be before. You know, going to different bars and seeing what it was all about. And of course, the mystery was far better than the reality. The reality was
bars are nasty.
They're gross and they stink, and the bathrooms are worse. So that's
for me, the thing I'm looking forward to is just being able to go to 21 and over concerts because
there you go.
Like going to Silver Spring. Silver Springs does a lot of hardcore shows. I can't go to those.
Yeah, you're right. Music does get exponentially better when you turn 21, like because you could go to places and see artists play. I will say though, the state of California does a really good job, and they did do a good job in this area when Slow Brew was downtown of having an all ages like separation.
Yeah, sounds like a nightmare.
It did sound like a nightmare, and people like me would have snaked through that system no problem.
Right. No, it was awful. I went to a couple of them, and it was actually like it was pretty nice. I mean, all they did was just put X's on your hands, and you know you could still go up to the bar and get like a glass of water.
Yeah,
it was
really
we will give you water, young boy.
Which always made me wonder, like how closely they're checking. You know.
Well, there was one time I got in line and they checked my ID, and normally what happens is they check your ID at the door and then you go inside and you pay for your ticket. And I like didn't really know what was happening, and I gave the dude my ID. I walked inside and there was no one at the front desk, so I just walked to the stage, and I got there. My friend was like, "Oh, you got your ticket already?" I was supposed to buy a ticket. He's like, "Yeah, it was $15." I was like, I didn't buy a ticket. I was like, okay, cool. And I just stayed, and they never did anything. And I got to see Metalachi for free.
When we do concerts in the Plaza, Whitney, again, do you have a problem with that as far as, is that a thing? I mean, I kind of attribute, I don't feel like young people even try to get past the goalie anymore. Like it used to be.
Where do you get a drink at the concerts? At the Firestone tent?
Yeah. Do you guys run into that problem at all?
We do. So we'll go through like a training with the police department before the season to kind of like figure out, kind of like with counterfeit money, like they tell us all the like new and improved ways that like fake IDs are out there in the world. And so like we kind of get some training on that.
Okay.
But I mean, concerts in the Plaza, I feel like is a really lame place to try to use your fake ID. If I'm being honest.
and I gotta be, I gotta just gonna be completely honest here, and I don't want to be because I'm afraid I'm gonna be, you know, divulging secrets. That's the type of places that I used to be able to do.
Those are the easier places to get it done. Sorry, Whitney.
I completely agree.
I used to go to like festivals were my favorite
beer
thing to
gardens,
go to. Beer gardens,
because people don't really care.
Yeah.
They just get people to volunteer from an organization to check IDs. It's not like somebody who really like is trained like at a bar.
Right.
You go to a bar or nightclub, you go to a bouncer, like they are trained to make sure nobody gets in, so their liquor license doesn't get taken away.
If I'm volunteering and I'm looking at this person's thing and they're like, "Yep, that's me," I'm like, "Okay, there you go."
It's like that time I volunteered at the tequila festival and I got kicked off the volunteer table because I was drinking more than I was sharing.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe the rule should be just don't have us volunteer for your things because we'll take a
thank you. I've now removed your names from the list.
Very lazy approach.
I don't want to volunteer anymore.
You can stick to introducing the bands.
When you're younger and you want to meet girls, like that's when you volunteer as a guy. That's the only reason guys want to volunteer to do anything is to meet a girl. And so once you're done doing that, you don't care. Anyway, so did you have a good Christmas?
I did. It was really nice. How was yours?
It was actually really good. I enjoyed doing nothing. Normally, I was telling Jeff that there's a lot of pressure when my parents come to. We're always going out somewhere new or doing a new place to eat or something like. And this time, it was just cooking home and watch a lot of movies. Yeah. So it was good.
How about you? What did you do?
We just hung out. Same thing where we usually like go through the motions and then pin it down to Camarillo to visit the grandparents. And this year we didn't do that. And we talked to them on the phone, but like, it was just kind of nice to just enjoy the day and just do nothing.
Who cooked? You or Dad?
Dad did.
What did he make?
Yeah. He made steak.
Oh, nice.
Good old filet mignon. It was good.
If your neighbors are having a party, for New Year's, and you knew about this party, say you found out about it a couple days ago, what would you do about it?
Oh gosh, what would I do? I don't know. Depends. I feel like that's a bad karma thing to like report that.
Narc on them?
I do too, because you know what? You have to live next to the people.
Totally.
So, I mean, no matter what kind of situation you're in, you cannot be surrounded by more than 6 people. And then at that point, they're just playing the percentages. They're like, oh, I wonder who it was. Well, it wasn't that person. It wasn't that person. It must have been that person.
Yeah, man. Ooh, that's dicey. I don't know. You could be like those crazy people on that Nextdoor app and just go on there and vent to the world.
Man, that Nextdoor app. That's crack social networking. Because that Nextdoor app is like, you get on it.
That thing's terrifying.
And it seems so like harmless. You're like, oh yeah, find out what's going on in my community. No problem. Next thing you know, you're like, yeah, that bitch and her dog.
Yep, exactly. That trash can's been there 1 hour too long.
And that's what it gets down to.
We were asking people if you're going to call the cops or mind your own business, and it's about 50-50. A lot of people are ready to report you if you're having a party tonight. We got Whitney on from Downtown SLO. Obviously, you know, you guys did a great job. I drove through with my folks. We kind of drove by and looked at Christmas lights on Christmas Eve, and we saw downtown and the Mission and all the lights going down Monterey and Higuera Street was really cool. Just the regular old white lights. I know we talked about that a couple weeks ago. Are you guys going to be able to keep those up?
Yeah, so we have it set to, I think it's going to be through at least the month of January. And actually, as of today, you should be able to go back down, and we've swapped out 2 of the kind of installations in Mission Plaza to be New Year's Eve oriented. So some of the holiday decorations have been removed, and now they're going to have a disco ball, I think, in one of them. And then another one that's kind of centered around like New Year, new resolutions, wishing stars, like that kind of thing. So there's new stuff to check out, which is kind of cool. But yeah, all the lights will remain at least through the middle of January, but I think it's going to be the whole month.
They're talking about rain next week.
I know.
What tips do you have to people that want to support local business in the new year? You want to kick off the new year in the right way. Obviously, there's a logistics problem with policy right now in order to patronize. Do you have any tips to skirt the rain problem that we're going to have this upcoming week?
I think the only tips I have is retail is still operational. So it's 2 hours free in parking garages. So if you want to get out of the house, you have the option of parking for 2 hours and going to shop retail, and you can at least be inside. Or with takeout, you can just do the takeout thing. And if you're able to order it directly from the restaurant and pick it up yourself, that's kind of like the shopping local thing. It's going straight to the restaurant and not through the third party. So I always encourage you to do that.
Yes, definitely. The third party, man. I was talking to some restaurant owners that they're forced to use the third party when people use those third parties. And those third parties are raking it in right now.
Yeah, they take a lot of money off of it, and they're already scrambling. So definitely just go straight to the source.
Yeah.
Very cool. DowntownSLO.com, the website. Have a safe and sane New Year's Eve.
Thank you. You too.
All right. We'll talk to you in 2021.